Hi, I'm Nick, and this is my persuasive speech. This is my audience, my brother Jacob, my grandma Betty, my father Eric, and my mom Lori. Homeschool or public school? Which would you choose? Growing up, pretty much all of my friends I had were from school. They were either from preschool, elementary school, middle school, or high school. We went to school together, we hung out together, and many of us even played sports together. Really, everyone I knew was from school, and I cannot imagine trying to make friends as a kid without going to public school. And when I thought about kids that were homeschooled, I'd always think, what do these kids do all day? How do they make friends? Do they play on a sports team? Do they go to parties? Who do they hang out with? When I decided to look more into homeschooling, it was clear that there are positives to homeschooling. When parents decide to homeschool, they can control what their kids are learning. You can do activities that you know interest your child specifically and make learning more fun and easier for them. This often results in better grasp of material, which would obviously make them smarter and remember the material. It also allows you to do your schooling and remember around your schedule. Some people have specific circumstances that don't allow them to be able to do their schooling at the designated time of day that normal school hours are set. Especially kids that are really good at sports or kids that have special talents that need to train and practice every day for long hours. When you're homeschooling, this allows you to work around your schedule, whether it's early in the morning, late at night, or anything in between, really. Homeschooling allows you to spend a lot of quality time with your own kids, which can really develop into a good and meaningful relationship as they grow up. With all this being said, there's obviously disadvantages with homeschooling as well. When you decide to homeschool your child, it means that you are now responsible for their education and everything that goes along with it. You are responsible for them learning. You must spend hours and hours every week teaching your child material. Homeschooling also costs more money out of pocket. You have to buy all your own textbooks and materials that the school classrooms would already be providing if they were going to public school. You might also get in many arguments with your child because, well, they are your own kid and this often happens between parents and kids. This can cause tension and really set you behind in the classroom and make it more difficult. There's also the social aspect of it, which kids develop their social skills from going to school every day where they are surrounded by other kids and really forced to interact with one another at a young age. If they don't develop these skills, it can really be difficult later in life when the kids go off to college or get a job and are all of a sudden thrown into places that must have social skills to really succeed. It makes it hard for them to make friends and get along with others in a large environment, and they can be very socially awkward. Now, if they go to public school, there are also advantages and disadvantages too. If they go to public school, they are surrounded by other people at all times of the day, giving them an opportunity to make friends and have social circles, where if they were homeschooled, they did not get that. Public schools excel at structure. Teachers need to be organized so everyone knows when it's time to switch subjects, go to lunch, and when to go home. They learn how to schedule and how to prioritize. Public schools also cover academics in depth and provide a lot more elective classes for students to take. Students can take many different art classes, and there are gym classes they can take and music classes as well. If you take music classes, you can be part of a band, which you cannot do at homeschool. Being involved in an extracurricular activity is a lot of fun. Public schools encourage independence. Students need to learn and navigate the lunch line, manage their books, and find their way around. Learn not to be late for class and relate to other kids without their moms interfering or coaching them on how to interact. Public schools have a lot of great teachers. They want to teach and they want you to learn. This is their passion and this is why they are teachers. Public school gives you time apart from your kids. It gives everyone some independence and time apart from each other. There are some disadvantages to public school too. There can be large class sizes which may make it difficult for some kids to learn. You do not have total control over your child's curriculum. Public school means no flexibility in schedules. It requires a 6 a.m. clock and long bus rides. Learning to be social and gaining social skills and how to adapt to many situations, these kids miss out on some important events in high school. By being homeschooled, they miss out on everyday life at school, where there is so much social interaction. It can be anything from just walking with people to classes to work on school projects or going to school events, such as dances and homeschooling and prom in high school. These events are always fun and a big part of high school, and I always look forward to going to these events with my friends. When you become high school age, sports really begin to center around the school. Many recreation and travel teams stop having teams when kids become high school age because it is expected they move on and play for their high school teams. And playing for your high school teams can be a lot of fun. If you homeschool, it can really take away from the opportunity for that child to continue to play sports with some of their peers, again rendering their social skills. And it is just not about the sports teams. There are so many other extracurricular activities that are available for everyone. There truly is some sort of club or activity for everyone, but most importantly, one learns to interact and socialize in so many different ways. It really is a learning experience that everyone should experience. I say this because one day I was out with my mom running errands. She ran into one of her friends, and this friend of my mom's I was not familiar with, but she had her son with her that looked about my age. I was 15 at the time. As our moms talked for what seemed like forever, I started trying to talk to him as well. I didn't recognize him, which wasn't uncommon considering I went to a pretty large school and there were other schools around. Anyways, I started talking to him, and right away I noticed he was pretty socially awkward. He was not comfortable talking to me, and he pretty much just answered yes or no to anything I asked. He didn't really try to communicate back with me. Now, I'm pretty outgoing myself, so talking to new people has never really been an issue for me, but I could tell he wasn't comfortable. I asked him the normal things like, do you play sports and whatnot, and then I asked him where he went to school, and he told me he did not go to a particular school, that he was homeschooled. Right away I was kind of surprised, because before then I did not personally know anyone who was homeschooled. Most of my friends and everyone that I knew that lived in my neighborhood all were in the same school system as I was. Anyways, soon enough our moms were done talking and we went to our separate ways, and that was that. But it was always something that kind of ran through my head whenever the topic of being homeschooled was brought up and the debate about which was better, homeschool or going to public school. There are obviously advantages and disadvantages in going to public school and homeschooling. Without going to public school, kids can really have a hard time making friends and developing good social skills. They miss out on structure and having good teachers. They miss out on the depth of classes public schools offer along with electives like art and music and gym. Students do not have their mother or father looking over their shoulder at all times controlling what they learn. Students get a break from their parents and a chance to make friends and to be social. They get to experience and the chance to attend school functions and making memories that they remember the rest of their lives. In the end, it is up to the parents to decide what is best for their kids, but attending a public school is a must to put your kids in an actual learning environment surrounded by other kids the same age as they are, to gain social skills and make friends, to learn how to interact with others, and just to become a well-rounded individual.
Yay!